Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the Weekly Comic Roundup. We're at the tail end of the roundup, so let's kick things off with Geiger, number 9. Where we left off, Geiger and Nate the Nuclear Knight, as well as their animal companions, Barney and Zigzag, were hoping to rescue 3 children who wished to go to school from a town that's very much against learning. So the issue opened, but and they they ran into the king and some of the knights that formerly fellow knights of Nate. But so the issue opens. Geiger has the kids has Barney take the kids back into the town, and he goes up against the king. And he manages to, but Geiger kind of gets the better taken of him by the king, in part because of the king has a blade that won't melt when it goes through Geiger, but his armor seems to have similar metal to it, but and the knights took a page from the electrician's playbook and sprayed Geiger with boron dust, but Nate goes back to help Geiger, using a water hose to get rid of the boron dust, and Geiger kills the king and kind of goes on a rampage of the other knights, and Nate comes in with his control rods, but Geiger attacks Nate. But Nate fights back and is calmed down. And it's decided that the kids are going to stay in the town, but Geiger and Nate leave the town along with Barney, and they're back on the road. The Queen is furious that Geiger for killing first her son, then now her husband. The president is looking for Geiger as well, though it's more that he has people looking for Geiger. Junkyard Joe seems to be once again active. Simon Pure is asking about Geiger in a bar. The Northerner has gone too far. And Geiger tells Nate that to basically take him down if he ever loses himself in the light. And the issue ends with Junkyard Joe discovering one of Geiger's more recent rampages. And that is where the issue ends. From the looks of it, I would say we're gearing up for a crossover with all of the unnamed titles in Ghost Machine. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Redcoat, number 8. Where we left off, Simon Pure had, after recounting his first adventure with Albert Einstein, he said goodbye to Albert, and as Albert Einstein passed in the 50s. However, our tale goes back even further than the first arc. It's 1878. A man on a horse has come upon a house in the rain. It's not Simon, though. He asks if there's a room that he can spend the night in. And he's welcome. Apparently, the family is just about to sit down for dinner, and the man, Mr. Heavyside, is talking with the family, and is smacked in the head with a hammer, then stabbed. The family then loots his body and dumps him in the cellar. However, as they finish looting the body, there's a knock at the door. It's Simon Pure. And of course he gets the same treatment, but it takes quite a bit longer for him to die. And apparently when he, in that brief moment between death and rebirth, he often is, he almost always sees parts of his past that include his father, which it's not exactly pleasant. This one in particular has a has Simon's father basically forcing rotten eggs down Simon's throat. But normally that memory manages to wake him up. This time, it's the stench of dead flesh. There's basically a mass grave below the Bender family's house, and at first, Simon there were probably the reasons for these deaths, until he sees the remains of a little girl holding a dolly. What reason could there be for that? But Simon sneaks back into the actual house and gives as good as he got, killing the Bender family, and eventually his but he stitches up his coat, and soon thereafter the bodies are discovered in the house. The bodies of that were in the cellar, and the proclamation. The governor's proclamation was $2,000 reward. Apparently, the bodies of the Bender family weren't recovered for the apprehension of the Bender family. But the issue ends with the Northerner popping up in an apple orchard, saying that it's too early. Pure won't understand yet. He won't know. It's Geiger. That monster is the reason this thing isn't working. And that is where the issue ends. Once again, I'm pretty sure that all of the unnamed subset of Ghost Machine books are prepping for a crossover. That'll be actually I really hope that's the case, because I enjoy the character, and really I'd like to see the characters that haven't yet made their debuts, and outside of the Ghost Machine one shot from last year, I really want to see them make their debuts. But next we got our last book for the week. We've got Rocketfellers #1. This is a second printing of Rocketfellers #1, because it surprisingly there was quite a bit of demand and for it last month when it came out, and that means there ended up being a lot of the first printing sold through, even approached at all shops. So this is a sci-fi comic from the Family Odysseys imprint of Ghost Machine. The Rocketfellers are a group of scientists from the far future, from the 25th century, and they're on the run for some of their work, and they're on the run in the 21st century. So the issue opens with the Rockefellers crashing on a planet. A frozen planet, and escaping from their ship to a time pod on the planet. But as they try and make their way across the ice on the planet, starts to crack, and the ship crash has actually made the ice crack, the ice cracking even greater. But Granny Rockefeller says, "I'll stay here. I'm not going to be able to get to move further." But some government operatives are on their tail. And the Rockefellers make it to the time pod, sans Granny. But they manage to escape. And the head of the lead government enforcer, basically ensures the death of Granny. But in the 21st century, the Rockefellers are trying to, blend in. Despite their technology that they are used to. And some less innocuous ones they still possess. Such as a basically a concussion device that can make waves in a massive waves in a swimming pool. And they still have some other future fun, such as hovering in their suits while mom, well, the helicopter that the mom flies to the weather for the local news station. Well, hovers above. And Grandpa Rockefeller is looking at the pendant that Granny gave him. Apparently, though, probably there are issues, like after a year, none of the Rocketfellers seem to be getting acclimated or comfortable at all. But Rockefeller has a means of communicating with the future, and he's actually talking with his big brother, Reggie. But and what turns out to be the cause of of their exile is an eyeball, and that is where the issue ends. Hopefully, we can get a. Hopefully, a second printing of number 2 will show up. Will arrive soon at my local shop, and I can continue on with this book. It is kind of interesting, but anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Twitter, Patreon, PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.